place at the Old Bailey. More on that on the way next. We'll hear as well about what's been described as Britain's most scenic bus route is clinging on for survival at the moment. We'll meet as well a Burnham man who's heading back to Afghanistan to help people there. We'll be finding out why. Plus all the sports, the weather and the travel news too. To the Old Bailey then, where today evidence against the Somerset businessman has been heard, and this is an extraordinary case in which Jim McCormick, who's 56, is accused of selling bogus bomb detectors to police and military authorities worldwide from his base near Wincanton. Now, Mr. McCormick marketed the device as being capable of detecting almost everything from ivory to human tissue, but the prosecution at the Old Bailey says it was all a sham. We're going to head there now and speak to our reporter, Clinton Rogers. And Clinton, I know you've followed this story in this case for a long time. You've seen a lot of this trial. What happened today?
Well, today we've been focusing on Belgium, would you believe, on the city of Kiel, population of 35,000, it's near Antwerp. We've been focusing on that city because it was the police force there who bought 4 of Jim McCormick's devices. And representatives from Kiel have been popping up at the Old Bailey Court 16 today to talk about that. The jury here heard that the police force bought the device, 4 of them, as I said, for €15,000 a time, because they said it was cheaper than buying and training sniffer dogs. Now, they said that they had the devices tested before they bought them, and in those tests, they were convinced they performed adequately, and therefore they were happy to buy them. We heard today from a senior police officer from Kiel, Joseph van Lommel, who said that the devices were bought in 2006 and used in criminal investigations for several years. But then concerns were raised about the effectiveness of the devices, concerns that were aired in the media. So they decided to send the device over to the Belgian Royal Military Academy to carry out scientific tests on it. And those tests revealed that the device was only 55% effective in blind tests that were done at the military academy, and therefore scientists there determined that it had no use whatsoever, that it was totally unreliable, and at that point the police force stopped using it.
So I gather there's been conflicting evidence as well.
Conflicting technical evidence, not just today, but over the course of the last few days. The prosecution case is that this device doesn't work, and not only doesn't it work, but Mr. McCormick knew it didn't work, and therefore he is guilty of making a device for use in connection with the fraud, and they have to prove that point. So they've been calling various technical witnesses that have tested the device. We heard today from a scientist, a professor of physics from Oxford University, who dismissed it totally, who said that it was a con, that it couldn't possibly work. Other people had said that it has no scientific basis whatsoever. On the other hand, the defence team have been calling their own expert witnesses, including one professor from a university in Romania, who gave his evidence via a video link, claiming that he tested it 1,000 times, and in those tests it had been proved effective. The defence have also played to the jury today, interestingly, an episode of BBC's Tomorrow's World from 2002. And in that particular episode, Tomorrow's World did a test of this device, and during that test, they gave it to a royal engineer, somebody from the British Army. And that particular programme came to the conclusion that, well, we don't know why it works, but it seems to work. On the other hand, the scientist who took part in that programme said that the bit that was shown was rather selective, and as far as he was concerned, the whole programme was a sham and a waste of time, and that it proved nothing scientifically. It was more entertainment than anything else. So you can see the jury have had a lot of conflicting technical evidence to assimilate.
So what's going to be happening now?
Well, the trial is scheduled to last at least another 2 to 3 weeks. I gather we're going to be hearing from more countries who bought the device. And as you said in your introduction, Mr. McCormick has sold these devices to countries around the world, but the biggest customer was Iraq, who bought 6,000 devices for up to £30,000 a time. And I gather that we're going to be hearing evidence from witnesses from Iraq, from the Iraqi government, who bought the devices. So that's in the days to come.
Okay, Clinton, thank you very much for your time. Clinton Rogers, who is in London for us, covering that court case at the moment. He was outside the Old Bailey.